Worked on some St Albans Cathedral. It's a 1,000-year-old building. Yeah, so it makes you want to get up in the morning and go, ah. My name's Gary. Business is Imperial Preservation. We're doing now heritage work for over 30 years. Keeps us busy and quite enjoyable industry to be in. I come from a council estate in England, so with that in mind, it was at the age of 14, we had no money. Friends of ours was the plasterer at the time, worked on old buildings and stuff like that. Said, Gary would like to come out and clean some floors. And I went, oh well, for a £5 a day, it was a given. And from that, meeting other people and through that, and the apprenticeship just stemmed from that period there. Yeah, so here today, at this place here, is they've had some water ingress to the lime render. Over the years, it's basically just disintegrated and some of the salts have gone into the lime render, and it's by paints now peeling and bubbling. It really is. Modern paints trap that moisture in. You've got to get that render off. So in this situation, we've had to remove carefully the lime render, allow some time to dry, and a lot of the time it dries pretty quickly because the actual render itself is sacrificial and it's drawn already the salts and the moisture into that render. Once you remove that render, the evaporation occurs very quickly within the brickwork. So then we leave it time to dry, 3 or 4 weeks, and then we reinstate with the traditional lime renders that we're doing with, with the slate lime and sand. The idea is just to keep that nice and damp so it doesn't cause any problems with the lime drying out too quickly. I think if you look here, I suspect here is a perfect example where in the past they've patched in a bit of wall with the sand cement, and as you can see the condition of that brick, totally destroyed really. But if you had a single brick and you've got sand cement on it, when you're trying to remove that sand cement, which you have to, half the time you do damage the brickwork, which is why we just use lime, old school lime, doesn't do any harm. The old walls, they're designed at the end of the day to absorb the heat from the outside and then disperses the heat into the house in a nice generous proportion. So it's a nice cool house, okay, from the hot summer. And in the winter you have your fire on, and that warms up the lime render in the brick, absorbs it into the material, then during the day it will disperse the heat nice and evenly. Now if you go and stick down modern cements and modern paints, this old building, which is what it was designed to do, can't do what it was designed to do. Oh. This stuff here, Jay. So this is the stuff we get from Westox. It's called coarse stuff, which is what we're making there. Same again, Ewan, same again. All right. So you get to a nice consistency. So what we do here, we then just throw it on the wall there. Do you want to have a go? This is when you go back to your work and go, why are you covered in lime there, Jack? Oh, you're a professional. There you go. There you go. So nice and tight, yeah. And then you know it's adhered to the wall. The main tools, you've got your hawks, trowels, you've got your special rendering trowels, you've got your special plastering, finishing trowels that are worn in over many years. So it's a bit finer blade, so when you come to do the final finishing, it's been worn in by the renders over the years. your straight edges, your hand tools, not like a carpenter where they've got their guns and their saws and they've got all their electrical equipment. We've still relatively got the same equipment that somebody in, hundreds of years ago would have had, and we've still got them in the back of the van now. So we get to a certain stage, we start straightening up the wall. This is why a lot of people with the old, see how deep that is there?
Yep.
But your skirting lines at the bottom is not deep, oldie woldy, as we call it, oldie woldy. So you've got to bend the wall. What we're doing here, we're going to cut back a bit of the line, recess it back behind the original render, and then we've got a little float. And what this does, gets your surface keyed up, flat, ready for the plaster coat. Once that's all on there, Jacob, you get that on, you rub it up, you do a figure of 8, and then we apply a plaster trowel finish. It matches in with the existing. Favourite aspect? It would have to be a nice ornate work, something that looks a little bit more challenging, a bit more complicated. Yeah, so it makes you want to get up in the morning and go, ah. And also a lot of people, when they have the damp side of things as well with heritage building, they don't know what's caused it, how to solve it. So we do a lot of reports and we actually say to people, look, this is what's causing it, this is what you need to do, this is the costs. So, and it enlightens people on what needs to be done, because a lot of people just think, seal it up, when you've actually got to let it breathe. Lime renders takes a lot longer to set and dry than cement. So before you can paint, you could be looking at about 3 months minimum before you can paint. And if you've got a damp issue, up to a year. So yeah, can drag on. Yeah, it's very rewarding, very rewarding. And it's something there that's then going to last for another 100 years. And we've only just got to hope that in 100 years' time, we still have the skills to repair that.